Oh my gosh,
Fundamentals.
we would be the bad boys of Little League. I'm telling you now, we would beat the tar out of the other team.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has to be.
More. I mean,
Has to be.
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
First time on air. Anything to say to Lawan here to get him back?
Look, bro, there are stories I could tell people about Lawan, but we'll keep those right here. I'm gonna let him live.
So smart, and my team is so dumb. My coach he looks dumb. He's a big baby. This man
Those graphics.
Big baby. Episode 193 in the building. We got Preacher Man Fitzsimmons on Holy Week. It's your championship. It's your playoff week going on. And looking forward to seeing how you come out of it. And then Devontae Keith in the building as well, coming off some chicken and rice. This is the All-Star. It's the big three, man. That's all we needed.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we needed. We got a big show. We've got Sweet 16 action. We've got top bets. We got MLB opening day. We got Showtime, Otani drama. We've got women's hoops. We've got, it's like I'm missing. Oh, new kickoff rules in the NFL. It's going to be a big show. Grab a cold one, sit on back, and let's enjoy it. Let's start with a little trivia. And because it's opening day tomorrow, we're starting with a little baseball trivia. I know all three of us not huge baseball guys. I was trying to get Jeremy Dowdy on. I didn't think of it until last minute, but he's going to hop on the next couple of weeks, talk baseball with us, get us right on our DraftKings FanDuel picks. So looking forward to that. All right. The trivia is the 5 worst opening day records. So the 5 worst teams to be playing on opening day and their whole history. This is by winning percentage.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, I only know the top 5 worst. So if you show a team, I don't know how close you are. I'll just say wrong.
So you said right. Top 5 matchups?
No, just worst opening day record. Their win percentage.
Just the team?
Yeah, just the team.
Oh, bet.
Yeah,
okay.
In franchise history. It's the top 5 worst.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll start.
Okay.
Let's start with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Tampa Bay Rays are not on the list.
Oh.
I was surprised too.
Well, damn. Somebody in Florida is hurt.
And as I said, they could be at number 6 or 7 or even 15. I don't know. I all have as the top 5 or the worst 5. Fitz, ball's in your court here.
I don't know. I don't even know where to go with this. Florida Marlins.
Florida Marlins. They are the worst team.
Damn.
Their win percentage is 41%.
Jeez, I literally picked that because that was my 5th grade Little League team. Like when I was in 5th grade.
Good call there.
Let me go Detroit Tigers.
Detroit Tigers surprisingly not on the list. Devontae, you both, when I was coming out and I was researching this, I was like, those 2 teams, the Rays and Tigers, are for sure on this list. They're not.
Damn, it must have to be historical too, because I guess they're older or something.
Yeah, you do want a little age to these teams.
Yeah,
for the most part.
All right, I'm gonna stick with my Little League teams. The Braves.
The Braves, no, the Braves are not on this list.
I figured they would be, but I was on a roll.
Pirates.
Pirates are not on this list.
Bro,
Used to be, they were too good in the 70s and 80s.
Damn. Oh.
The Expos.
The Expos. R.I.P. No.
Okay.
Let's go with the Diamondbacks.
The D-backs. No, man.
Wow. God almighty.
I know.
I guess I'm not thinking old enough or something.
I feel like we're all
the Angels.
The Angels, yeah, they're the second worst team with 42%.
Okay. What about the Nationals?
Nationals not on the list.
Stop! What the hell, man?
All these have been good guesses by you. Like they're solid guesses.
Damn.
All right, Fitz, back to you.
Seattle Mariners.
Mariners not on this list.
Good.
He said good.
What about the Orioles?
The O's not on this list. Cal Ripken kept him alive for his 40 years of playing.
About to throw up, bro. God.
Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, well, you watch your mouth. The only team in MLB guaranteed a home opening day. No, we're not on the list.
The Mets.
The Mets, no.
So remind me, what is the stipulation of this list? I'm trying to remember.
So it's just I've compiled the worst winning, like opening day, their winning record.
like percentage.
Right.
Okay, so it's not like the most losses.
No.
Okay. It changes my thinking.
You guys are missing one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast, one down south.
Texas Rangers.
Rangers. You're working your way up here. Yeah, Rangers. Third on the list.
The West. Let's go with the Giants.
Oh no, not the Giants.
That's a good guess. Colorado Rockies.
Rockies, no. Good guesses. Keep with the West Coast. Keep hammering them.
I guess that's not West Coast. That's just West.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, I said West. Yeah, West.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I let something slip. I don't know. Maybe I'm setting you up.
Yes. Bro.
You guys are gonna be sick.
All right. So you said explain the percentage again, because you said it's not how many losses they have. It's what?
It's like
their-
your percentage, like you know, if you're 8-8, you're at 500.
500. Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
So it's
bro.
totally based on percentage. It's
Okay,
not like the
that
most
is-
losses. Yeah,
Right.
I was thinking most losses.
Yeah.
Man, that- yeah. Okay.
This is on me, the host. I apologize.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No,
It
you're
just I
good.
didn't. My brain didn't register.
Sneaky little devil. Let's go. Well, shoot. Well, let's go with the A's.
The A's. He's on the board.
Hey.
They are
There you go.
46 win percentage.
Yay
46.
area.
I honestly forgot that was a team.
Soon to be the Vegas A's.
Let's see. East.
Last one, East Coast.
Well, it's not the Yanks. I don't think it's the Red Sox. Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, already said no.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, maybe I got it.
Uh-oh.
Maybe.
Devontae,
Do I get
here we
another
go.
guess?
Sure.
All right, the Phillies. We'll go Phillies.
Son of a bitch. He does it. Sorry, Devontae. Yeah.
Well, that was what I was gonna say anyway. So we'll share that. One.
We'll share it. 47% win percentage. Yeah, good job. Sam said Cleveland. Cleveland's also a good guess. I did think Cleveland was going to be on this list. I thought maybe Chicago, and I thought the D-backs were going to be on the list in the Lions, or the Tigers, not the Lions. But, so, Devontae, all good guesses by you, man. It's just I feel like you named every other
I'm
team.
thinking too recent, or what it was. I was thinking about the losses in general.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go ahead. Let's pop up into MLB here. Let's start with the big news. This might be the MLB story of the year, and it's not even opening day yet. The Showtime drama. I don't know if you guys have read about this, if you've heard about it or not, but Showtime's his interpreter, Ippei, I think I'm saying it right, Ippei. They've been boys. Like, you know, they're boys, they're day ones, they're almost like brothers. Apparently his translator has stolen $4 million from him and like been betting, putting with a bookie. All this came to light for tax season. Showtime apparently had no idea that this interpreter was betting $4 million of his own money. This is, if you believe Showtime, this is like the ultimate betrayal. Like, you've got one person in the locker room that understands you, They're like, you can talk in your native language and there's no language barrier and stuff. And he double crosses you this way. Oh, that's brutal. On the same time, I don't know if I believe Showtime. Like $4 million, you don't notice it's gone. Like you wait until taxes, your accountant finds this out. That's head scratching. Boys, where do you guys stand on this one?
I don't know. I feel like if my boy was a degenerate gambler, there would be some clues. Like if he's around me all the time, there would be some clues. Like what you sweating for, bro? Or like why you taking your phone, bro? Or like what was he gambling on? Horse races? Like what?
I think it was all across the board, including baseball. Like I think it was just
the board.
Yeah.
He didn't notice him keep checking his phone for nothing.
And here's the thing, like if he's using his account, like I've got alerts on my phone that says, "Hey, do you authorize this transfer?" Like it pops up when there's big, like, and you're talking $4 million. I know this guy wasn't doing it in $10 increments. Like, come on.
No, he's betting big every time because he's gonna get it right back. Like that.
Yeah.
That must be the life. To just know, like, absolutely know you're gonna get it right back just for being an interpreter. And then I wonder if Shohei did that to like separate himself because like apparently in the NBA, quote unquote, you saw they cracked down on Jonte Porter. I don't know if we're talking about that later, but how he was betting on himself. And I wonder if Shohei's trying to separate himself, like, I don't know what bro is on. Like, I didn't even know he was taking my money to make sure that they can't trace it back to like, oh, Shohei was betting on himself.
Yeah.
Or the interpreter was betting for Shohei, just like that dude, Keishawn Butte.
Keishawn Butte, yeah.
So like he pulled a Keishawn Butte, except he had a middleman.
Fall guy, baby. Everybody needs a fall guy.
Yeah.
Everybody needs one. This was Showtime. Fitz, what's your thoughts here?
Well, he's allowed to gamble, right? Like, I mean, I don't know whose money this is. I mean, that's the question. But if it was his own money, like this interpreter could bet, right?
Yeah, this interpreter could, but it wasn't his money. It was coming out of Showtime's account.
Yeah. So that's the big debate. And then, if you're going to speculate, is this under the table? Like Shohei really wants to put this money down, but he knows, but it doesn't feel like that's what's going on. I don't know. Ohtani doesn't seem like, but I don't. You don't know.
You don't know, man. Yeah, and like his statement did not help the other day, and I was hoping he'd sit down at press conference and speak perfect English. How funny would that have been? Like this whole thing could have been avoided.
Oh, he's speaking fluent Spanish with some of the players
some of the players, the Dodgers. Yeah.
I'll tell you, LA's changing this, man, already.
Yeah, clearly. Sam saying his statement was like the equivalent of Clinton's after Monica Lewinsky scandal.
Oh,
I did not gamble on that game.
Take.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sam.
Stir the pot.
And here's the thing: if you're MLB and you got two choices, you punish the hell out of him, and he's gone for life because that's been your thing for baseball. There's no betting; you cannot bet, and it seems like all indication. Let it go to trial and all that. Have your forensic accountant do everything. I don't know how you prove this is not guilty, but you ban him for life, or you reinstate the GOAT, Pete Rose. And you have to do 40 plus years of damage control. You have to get this guy a job in baseball right now, because if you're letting Showtime do it, you've got to come back and give it back to
And then you got to reinstate Shoeless Joe.
Shoeless
you
Joe.
Go down the whole list.
The Black Sox, yeah. And I don't think, because baseball and most leagues out there, but baseball especially, are ruled by old whites who play by these old grandfather, old dated rules. I don't see them saying, "Hey, my bad. Go ahead, Pete, you're in. Go ahead, Shoeless Joe, you're in." Like, I don't see that happening. So this is a crossroads.
We said the same thing about the steroid usage. They're like, "Oh, they're too good. This takes away the sanctity of the game." And it's like, y'all's favorite, like, bro, you had a dude on the mound with 2 tabs of acid on his head. And it was the greatest show on the diamond. What are you talking about?
Yeah, perfect game.
Baseball was the greatest in like the 80s, and everybody was coked or drugged out of their mind.
Oh, Darryl Strawberry? Hell yeah.
Come on now. What?
Yeah. I'm with you, dude.
Come on now.
We've been a long fan of this. Like, we need a pro HGH league. You can bet on yourself. You can bet against, like, anything goes. The XFL of baseball. That's what we need. Any other closing thoughts about Showtime?
I say keep playing I didn't know game for real because
Yeah.
they're gonna be on his ass hard, especially after all that money. Yeah, they're gonna try their best to get that money back.
Yeah, I agree. Fitz, any closing thoughts from you?
Yeah,
Nah.
it's just baseball.
It's just baseball. Just baseball. Well, speaking of baseball, I did ask if you guys did your homework, so we'll see. MLB opening day odds all across the board. Obviously, these teams haven't played real games yet. They're brand new rosters, they're brand new teams. So every line is 1.5, whether it's minus or plus. Over-unders varied a little bit from 7.5 to 9. My Reds being against the Nationals, 9 is being the highest point total there. But what's your all's MLB opening day odds? What's a bet that you guys like, hey, let's put a little pub parlay money on this thing, baseball, all opening day. Let's make some bread.
I'm not gonna lie, I tried to set my ESPN notifications to teams I actually wanted to follow. So I had already had it for the Mariners, and I decided the NL team would be the Diamondbacks for whatever reason.
All right.
And we'll see how that turns out for me. But out of all these opening day games, I think, because I put it in on DraftKings. Shout out DraftKings. They had a little reward going for baseball. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I just put it in because it was free.
Free $10 play.
Yeah, I was like, shit, that sounds like it's for me. I put the money line on my Mariners.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Mariners money line tomorrow against the Red Sox. Red Sox down in talent. I mean, they're already a 1.5 favorite. The Mariners are. Might as well go money line with them. I like it. They're at home. It's in Seattle. I like it.
Are the Cubs? The Cubs are favored over the Rangers.
Yeah.
I would actually take the Rangers in that one.
Yeah, you taking money line? You're taking the 1.5.
Yeah, I thought the Rangers did they not? They made a postseason run last year. They kind of fell apart at the end, but they were humming last year, from what I remember.
No, yeah, you're right. I don't know if they've lost some key players or what, and I don't like it. Nothing comes to mind, so not that I can think of.
They probably got Scherzer starting. You know, I don't know who they got. Yeah, see who's that? Rangers, Cubs.
Yeah,
this is where we need Devin because he could always give us the pitching matchup.
Oh, dude, he knew that like the back of his hand. Well, you're looking that up. I'm gonna go Nationals and Reds under 9 or under 8.5. For opening day to have 9 runs, that's crazy to me. You got your best pitchers on the mount, so give me the under of 8.5 for the Reds.
But didn't it happen during a game last year or something?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely bound to happen, and because we're putting money on it, I'm sure it's going to happen this game, right? But no, I'm going to go Reds Nationals under 9.
Scherzer's hurt. That's the problem.
Oh, that's right.
They're trying to speculate when he might be coming back.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. You know, you've got the best pitcher for the Cubs is facing the Rangers guy in the hole.
Right.
Yeah, I'd take the Rangers. Why not? That just
Rangers
feels
money
like
line. Yeah.
That feels like the right pick.
They're at home. Everything's bigger in Texas. Texas Cinnamons,
they had a good season last year.
Buns.
They fell apart in October, but they were pretty solid.
I like it. Let's go with it. All right, let's go ahead. Let's move in. You guys want to go NFL or you want to go Sweet 16? What do we want to save?
I want to go to Sweet 16.
Sweet 16. Let's do it. Let's dive. I teased you, Fitz. I didn't mean to. Sweet 16, women's hoop. Drama. Let's start there. Then we'll go to women's hoop, Sweet 16.
I actually do I've been watching the women's. So.
Yeah. So when I say drama, this is a wild story too. Kim Mulkey comes out, I think it was Thursday, Friday, right before they tip off, and is basically going after the Washington Post, saying she's going to hire a defamation lawyer, that you're not going to soil her name, and that there's a hit piece coming against her. I had not heard about this until she said it. And I think like most Americans, that's what it was. I think most people. And so this has kind of divided the whole sports media world and you know, Twitter and all that. Tony Kornheiser got in on it. Like, can Kim Mulkey really have a case here? Like, she was given a list of questions and a time frame to get them in. She didn't, and now she's on the retreat. Like, I'm of the belief that Kim Mulkey is kind of shady and dirty. And so I feel like this Washington Post reporter has dug up something on her, and she knows it. So she's trying to be on the offensive. She's trying to attack it first. I kind of stand with Washington Post here, man. Post that article. Talk your shit, baby. Stand on business.
Yeah. There's a lawyer, and I'm guessing it's real life. There's a lawyer that's on TikTok with all the rings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like people have probably seen him before, but like there's him and then like Kim Mulkey with her like shiny suits. Both of those kind of give very much shady. And I remember it was random. I didn't think much of it, but I read into it, and what it came from was Kim Mulkey saying that she was standing up for what's brother came from Notre Dame that he coaches at LSU now, Brian the ball guy.
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly. She was standing up for Brian Kelly because she felt like the Washington Post had wrote a hit piece on him, and she was trying to stand up in solidarity and saying like, I'm not going to answer any of your questions. Stop chasing me down. Stop harassing me. And I'm like, bro, there's no way this man is that pressed about you. He's just trying to get you to ask simple questions, and you ducking them. So of course I'm like, these are simple questions. Why would you answer them? Like, what's the problem? And he's saying it's because of Brian Kelly, but at the same time, Brian Kelly, there was something wrong. That's why somebody asked. So yeah, like I don't know. Journalism is hard for real. Like when people don't want to take accountability, especially when it's NCAA is involved.
Oh yeah. It's a game changer. And the article you're talking about is Brian Kelly basically got called out, makes the most money in Baton Rouge. Community's poor, other coaches in athletics, the school's run down, and he's having a field day getting paid. And so that was the Washington Post article that came out, this season or last season, one of the two.
I think it was last season. Same thing I bet something like that. Nobody ever thought to write an article about it, but I don't think Baylor's like a rundown school or anything, but I'm pretty sure she took a lot of money from Baylor. And then if Brian Kelly's making money, I can only imagine. Now, granted, women pay is lesser, but she still got some bread. She got something out of them for real.
Oh, I mean, that's the only reason she split from Baylor to LSU because of the payday. So yeah.
Right. So we know. So as far as we know.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to this story, and you wind the clock to the beginning of the season. Angel Reese drama, she was sitting out, and there's a lot of credibility to her classroom, and is she in good academic standing? I think there's a lot of shady shit that's going to pop off here. Fitz, thoughts from you?
I haven't really followed this story. I'll be honest. I just like, I think I don't know. I don't want to get into like. I'm actually more excited about just like the women's tournament, like this hit piece. I don't really get it. I just don't get it. I don't know how to put it any more clear than that. It just seems like very, I don't know. It just very dramatic.
And let's be honest, we don't know if it's a hit piece or not. She's labeling it as a hit piece, but we haven't seen it. So
I just don't. I just disregard it.
Yeah.
That does make me think, like, I wonder what she did to bring Angel Reese from Maryland, because, like, from the looks of it, it seemed like she enjoyed her time there. I mean, she was at home playing where she was comfortable. And so now to bring her all the way down to Baton Rouge, I wonder, like, this was before NIL, so,
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. I don't know, something about Kim Mulkey I just don't like. I think she just rubs me the wrong way, and so now I'm hoping they just dig up all the skeletons in the closet. They dig them up for.
Oh,
all right. Let's move in women's Sweet 16 action. I've got the odds here. I can pull up the bracket here in a second, but obviously South Carolina, the best team in the damn nation, they're favorite to win this, -155. Iowa second at +700. Then LSU +950 and Stanford 1,600 kind of round up your top four there. They are the four best teams in women's hoops. But there's a lot of teams that can argue, hey, we can go. UConn, Page, Bucky's out there, man, +1,700. USC's got a squad. NC State, Duke, Indiana, they're kind of like Cinderella runs going on right now. Colorado women's. I mean, there's a lot of good hoop action on the women's across the board, and we'll talk about guys here in a second. But Fitz, you're excited. Dive into it, man. I'm gonna let you play ISO ball here. I'm clear the paint.
Yeah. Well, I've been as excited about the women's tournament as I've been the men's, which is just, I mean, it's not a, I'm not trying to be woke.
You trying to be
or
Clayton
anything
Clark
like
over here?
that.
You
I'm
saying
just
women's
trying,
is more
I'm just
entertaining?
I've been enjoying it. Part of it is living in Columbia and everyone worships Don Staley down there. There's just a lot of different scenarios that I like. I guess to start, South Carolina or NC State's playing Stanford this week.
Big one.
The NC State's odds there is interesting because I feel like the winner of Stanford NC State will beat the 1 seed. I can't remember
Texas.
Texas. Yeah. I really like obviously both coaches. You got for Stanford, you got the most winning coach. North Carolina State, can't remember his name, but he's also he's become a familiar face in this tournament as well. You wonder when NC State's gonna kind of get into the Final Four. I feel like they've been on the outskirts, but they just haven't snuck in there. But they've got a guard. The guard play, can't remember. I think it's Rivers. It's like Aaliyah Rivers or something.
She's from
she's
from Wilmington.
Yeah,
freshman
Ashley High School. Yeah, I saw that.
Went to USC and then I guess took whatever information she learned from Don and brought it back.
Wow. Yeah, but she's just and she reminds me a little bit of Beckers at UConn, just with the athleticism at the guard position. She just brings a lot to the table. So that's where I feel like NC State they might be being slept on in these rankings. But obviously that's a tough path. They've got a really tough path to get there. But I like NC State. We'll get to Iowa in a second. I've got thoughts on Iowa. UConn.
And save your Clark thoughts. I've got a whole different segment for Clark.
Okay. Obviously, I guess if you're going to acknowledge staying on that side of the bracket, Don Staley and USC, they are on the revenge tour. They thought last year was their year to kind of say we're a dynasty, like we're the team of this era.
Yeah, and
they lost to Caitlin Clark. They had a great performance, just kind of defensively against her, but Aaliyah Boston really couldn't get going in that. In that matchup. So that's kind of a blip on them. And I feel like this might be the best South Carolina team we've seen. And they've had some really good teams, but this year that really stands out. So South Carolina, another one. Are they the favorite? I didn't see.
So South Carolina is the number 1 overall 1 seed.
Okay. Got it.
Minus 155. They got Indiana Sweet 16, and then they get the winner of Oregon State and Notre Dame. It's a real easy walk.
Yeah, they should be fine. But again, if they have to match up against Stanford and NC State, that's a tough matchup for them.
Very tough.
UConn, they've been slept on a little bit just because, Beckers has been hurt. They've had a lot of other players get hurt. I feel like they have the smallest rotation out of all these teams. They probably play 6 girls. That's it. They just play the same 6 girls. But part of that is you get a lot of chemistry that way. And I feel like the difference between UConn is very different from Iowa in the sense that when Iowa needs to get going, they just give Caitlin Clark the ball and they're like, just go to work. You do everything. It's like watching LeBron James with the Cavs when they had Anderson Varejao and nobody else. It was just go to work. Where I feel like UConn, they utilize they probably got 3 guards that can actually run the offense. And Beckers, and then that one girl from Croatia, I think, and then I can't remember. I think it's that freshman. It's the freshman who's been getting a lot of minutes.
But
UConn's just they're the most interesting team for me. I feel like they could be again. The question is about how deep they are. If they get in foul trouble, they could be in trouble just because they only play. It's kind of like our intramural team, Hacky, that we lifted up the other day. It's we only have 6 guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that could be a nightmare, but I think they're really solid together. And yeah, Beckers is just she's the complete player on both ends of the floor. So UConn's really exciting. And then Iowa's path, that gets tricky because if they get through this round, they potentially have a date for a rematch of last year's championship with LSU. And that would be in the Elite Eight. So that's a tough path. And then if they get through that, then, again, it's a Final Four matchup with UConn or USC. Like, USC has the other.
It's South Carolina. Yep.
Yeah, USC has another great. So yeah, there's just a lot of interesting matchups that could happen.
There's tons. Yeah. Devontae, thoughts from you?
Yeah. I'm saving Iowa thoughts later, so I'm gonna act like they're not even on the board. Fitz was talking about UConn earlier, and I feel like their path would be a lot easier if Azzi Fudd hadn't torn her ACL, because I think she has next. She has next up as soon as Paige leaves, which I assume is this year, unless they somehow give her another COVID year or whatever. But UConn's a good team. I think another sleeper along with NC State would probably be UCLA. They've been fairly consistent in the regular and postseason. But I think USC got more attention because they had Juju Watkins, who I noticed still has the same shot volume as Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if she has the green light just because she's a freshman, but she has more teammates that get involved because she's a freshman. So she'll be fun to watch like as the years go by. But I think UCLA might be my sleeper pick.
I like it. If they weren't going against LSU, which I think that's the most beatable team out of the top ones left.
Right.
I feel like it could happen here. I think I'm going to have to go my sleeper, your Wolfpack, NC State. Yeah, they're going at Stanford. It's tough. But they get through there, probably meeting UConn, right? Depending on injuries and fatigue level. And
no, they're on the other side.
Or in the Final Four. Final Four, right? They get through there because I think
they wouldn't see UConn until the championship.
Oh shit, that's right. They're running Don Staley.
They probably have to see.
They see USC. That's tough. Boys, I'm gonna say it. I've already put a future bet. I put it back down in February. Women's South Carolina hoops national champs. I think this is the team of destiny. Fitz said the dynasty. They kind of feel like it fell apart. Well, this is their destiny. This is their chance to come in and right or wrong here. So I'm gonna go South Carolina to get it done. Picks from you guys, favorites. Gun to your head. Who you taking, Fitz?
Man, it's tough. There's a lot of great storylines. I could see my final four picks would be it's like the three decorated coaches and then potentially the best college player who's played in the women's tournament. And I think like who could come out of that.
Yeah.
Like if Caitlin Clark was matched up against Gino and the UConn program.
Right.
I mean, what a story that would be, just like, all right, Caitlin Clark, you're the best. All right, you got to go through the best. Now you got to go, you got to go through.
Go guard Page. Yeah.
You got to go through a UConn team.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, and then who would you be matched up against? If it's USC Stanford, you got Don Staley, who's like the up becoming, like she's going to be the coach. Like once Vanderveer's out, once Gino's retired, once there's this movement that we kind of saw in the men's a few years ago with like Coach K and Roy and all those guys leaving, is Don Staley's kind of that. She's kind of that the next generation coach.
Mm-hmm.
But if she's matched up against the most winningest coach, Tara Vanderveer, what a story that would be.
Yeah.
Then whoever comes out of this UConn Iowa grudge match has to go against, the greatest coach at this point. So that's getting a little too far ahead. That could all go to shit in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm choosing based on those four in my mind, I'm taking Don Staley.
Yeah.
I think it's just, again, I feel like there's a chip on their shoulder. And I feel like Clark's been all the talk, and they would love nothing more than to get a rematch of that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even going to happen though. I think Iowa's going to be out. So maybe that's our perfect segue to get on Iowa here.
Yeah. Let's talk Caitlin Clark here. Let's talk Iowa. Man, I didn't mind Caitlin Clark, but I feel like this tournament has really shed some light on some stuff, and she's got a little baby in her. I'll be honest.
Oh gosh,
there's a little like crybaby,
softer misunderstood
baby back bitch here. Like I don't like it, man. Her complaining to her dad in the stands, like, what the fuck is your dad gonna do? You're headbutting a basketball, that's fine. So I didn't like that. And then what I really didn't like was female reporters coming out like, would you have said this to Dennis Rodman? Hell yeah. People did. You didn't grow up in the 90s. People were on Dennis Rodman's ass every single night. If LeBron headbutts a basketball or kicks into the stands, that's on First Take for fucking 6 months.
Boy,
you know, like, come on. Like, don't give me that bullshit. So I think her antics rub me the wrong way. And then social media and reporters really just pushed me over the edge. I don't like Clark after the first 2 rounds. I don't like her. If Paige, hot take, Paige buckets. If she never had her ACL injuries, she never got hurt, I think she's the best player in the game. I think she's number one on people's boards, not Caitlin Clark.
I'm gonna be honest. I was never high on Caitlin Clark because I remember when she had I think it was last year when she had that big game and when she was pulling from the logos and stuff, the whole internet went crazy. Yeah. And then I actually looked at the stats of that game. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of shots to be taken. And I looked at this past game, 8 for 22, 11 for 12. How the entire hell I had to, just in case we get monetized. How she ended up with 32 points and Caitlin Clark is a self-proclaimed shooter. How does a shooter get 12 free throws? Usually you get that when you drive every now and then. So based on the quick maths, she had a couple too. She was 8 for 22. Forgot how many she had from 3. She had five threes. She had 5 threes. And she was 8 for 22. That means she had 3 2-point shots. And out of those 3 2-point shots, I'm pretty sure at least 2 of them were jump shots. And she got 11 free throws out of that, 12 free throws out of that. Something's not right in the milk, for one.
Yeah.
But 2, I'm seeing like shades of your boy Marshall Henderson, your boy Grayson Allen, and to take it way back, your boy Christian Laettner, all 3 of them in one bitch. Like everything about it is crazy because people are like dismissing all this middle school stuff she's doing. Like she was crying to her. She wasn't. I think there was a point where she was crying to the ref. Ref didn't tee her up or nothing, and her dad was even telling her like, "Yo, shut the F up." And for your dad to say that and get caught on camera saying that to you in the stands, like, I wonder if teams gonna look at that. No, probably not, because they need that money. And so we'll see what happens. I know I texted in the group message, like, I wish her the worst. I mean it. I genuinely mean it. But now I mean it in a sense that I hope she loses next round. Like, I desperately want her to be humble. And I know people are going to be like, why do you want women humble so bad? I don't want women humble. I never want women humble. I want Caitlin Clark humble because I'm sick of this shit, for real. Then for her to get like an offer for $5 million from Big 3. Yeah. Like, I get Ice Cube striking while the iron is hot, but come on, bro. Like, don't feed it, for real. Because imagine her getting to the league and trying all that mess. And yeah, because I follow the WNBA, And Sabrina Ionescu, that was from Oregon, she's kind of normal. Who else? Kelsey Plum, she started off pretty hot, but like again, I go back to Ionescu, who was like the person to beat or the woman to beat, and she had to start off kind of like below normal before she got to normal. So with Caitlin Clark and like her center offense, I feel like it's going to be worse because you're playing in Iowa for one. They don't have much to cheer for. Like imagine playing for the big city where they barely pay you. So we'll see what happens.
Like I said, they love her around here. We're real close to Iowa. I actually didn't even think, I didn't even think about that they play the first 2 rounds at home.
Yeah.
I could have gone to one of these games. I didn't even think about it.
You
Like, I should have. The problem is I would have been the one person not rooting for Iowa. Like I would have been like rooting. I was pulling for West Virginia in this last one. For me, it's more just how the offense, it's how they run their offense. I just feel like, again, like my best comparison is LeBron James in like the late 2000s. And it's just like, yeah, she's a great player. I'm not disputing that. Like she is that good. But I also just am like, I'm just going to be bothered for the rest of the league if she wins just because she's shooting out the gym or she's the favorite, like she's getting the fouls called on her. She's, like it's almost like I want to see a complete UConn team shut her down, or I want to see like an LSU team that has Angel Reese just dominate the paint and just take it away from Iowa. Yep. Like I just feel like Iowa isn't really doing anything outside of Clark. They're really not. No. Granted, number 24, I can't remember. She really stepped up in the last game, I will say. When they needed a stop or they needed to get it going because West Virginia kept hanging around. They had their senior stepped up. And I don't know, like there's energy at Iowa. Like the other players, they know that this is special, that they're a part of a special team because of Caitlin Clark. But it's also this feeling that if she were to go down, they don't have a chance. They don't have a chance in hell. So I think that's where I just feel like it's just really annoying to me. Like as a basketball fan, I never feel like having just one player is going to give you that edge. Like that's how I felt about when Duke had Zion Williamson. It's similar to how I felt about Zion. Yeah. Like I love Zion, clearly a great player, and he's starting to surge at the NBA level after getting trolled for his
baby fat
stuff. Yeah, but he's a good player. But I was just saying, like it drove me nuts sometimes that when you depend on one player in basketball, I'd never see that recipe working out.
It never works out.
It is the team sport.
There's no Boobie Miles here to save you.
College basketball, at least, but even the pros the writing's starting to get a little right on the wall a little bit.
Yeah.
College basketball, it's hard. It's hard.
Look.
So for me, it's more of a dig on the game than is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and that's fair.
And when you talk about who's the most complete player, again, Paige Beckers. I would love to see Paige versus Clark, just because I feel like that would be the ultimate test of like, who's really doing it.
I feel like Paige has the advantage. I'm dedicated to a stick. In case you guys don't know, I've been holding this fucking Leitner frame for a long time. Devontae, you watch your mouth when you talk about the GOAT. You watch your mouth when you talk about my boy Christian Leitner. All right, don't you dare compare him to Clayton Clark. Now, I will say, Caitlin Clark, she gets people talking about women's hoops. She gets butts in seats. People they've been selling out games for Iowa. She's good for the game in that aspect because people are tuning in, they're watching, and I want to see women's hoops and women's sports grow. Like Devontae, we're not saying humble women's sports. No, grow that thing, man. It's equally as competitive, if not more competitive in some ways. But I'm with you. Humble her ass. I don't like it. Her and Paige one-on-one. I think Paige tears her ass up. I don't know. Everything she said and done, just not a good look. But I will give her flowers. She's putting butts in seats.
Yeah, for Iowa, like for them to care about basketball was crazy.
She's having us talk about it.
Luka Garza, they didn't really have that much to believe in since Luka Garza.
That's fair.
Mostly football.
That's fair. And even football, they're fucking trash.
Yeah, like,
and now Garza is getting minutes because Anthony Towns got hurt. So he's back in the lineup. Everyone's going crazy in these waters.
In these waters. All right, let's jump to the hoop section, boys. We're gonna make some money. We're gonna talk about each bracket here, then we'll talk about our top bets. But let's go ahead, pop it off. We're gonna start with. Oh no, that's the women's.
Oh yeah, let's go back.
Let's go back. Let's rewind. Let's go to East Region here. Number 1, UConn taking on number 5, San Diego State University. A little rematch of the Natty last year. You love to see it in Sweet 16. Then you got 3 Illinois, 2 Iowa State. Both those teams, surprisingly, because I haven't watched a lot of college basketball this year, they've been fun to watch. And that game, I am pumped for. I'm excited. I'm locked in for it. This is a good region. Who makes it out of this Sweet 16 on the Final Four here, guys?
I've been watching all 4, and I'm honestly surprised to see Illinois make it this far.
Yeah.
But I think what got me, I remember when Terrence Shannon was like he was in big trouble at one point because I think he was on trial for like something really bad, and then like it just went away, and now he's balling out of control. Funny story, I found out it was supposed to be Terrence Shannon and Caleb Love playing for Juwan Howard in Michigan. So that would have been the duo in Michigan that helped him keep his job, but he got fired. Past that, I watched San Diego play, and they have this big player, Jaden Ledee, who I think can handle UConn's big. I think his name is Donovan Clingan. And I think he's been there, he played last year, I believe. So he knows what he's doing, and most of the team for San Diego State does too. But it's UConn and one of the Hurley boys. So I think they'll be fine. Yeah. And as far as Illinois and Iowa State, I think this is where the buck ends for Illinois, just because Iowa State seems like a complete team. Mm-hmm. And we kind of just said, you can't really depend on a player. Terrence Shannon is really good. So, he's their star player. And they also have other players for Illinois. I think there's one dude named Coleman Hawkins who is streaky, and Marcus Domas, who's the other shooter. But Terrence Shannon is their guy. But I think Iowa has something. The Cyclones got something to shut them down.
Yeah.
So it's UConn and Iowa State.
Yeah, who makes out of those two for you real quick? UConn?
Iowa State, and between them two?
Yeah.
Oh, UConn, no question.
Yeah. Fitz, thoughts from you real quick.
We'll see. First of all, I was really annoyed that in this East region, they put 3 of last year's Final Four, all against each other.
Yeah.
Like FAU, UConn, it was like, well, that really is that's where we would draw them, and I'm sure FAU would have said, well, hey, we'd rather be a 12 seed, or give us like a 13 seed, then we get a chance. But being the 8, they didn't really get a good draw there. San Diego State, the thing is, last year defense was really their whole thing, so that's what makes this matchup interesting. Is UConn apparently has the most unique offense we've ever seen, with just that it's always going to the second or the third cut after the screen. It's never the first look. So there's just a lot of different movement going on. So I'm curious to see. I haven't seen San Diego State, but just knowing that defense and limiting attempts and rebounding is kind of their deal, that could make this a really interesting matchup. Then Illinois, Iowa State. I don't know. Iowa State, they seem to be like the darlings of this year. Maybe they haven't had a team this good, or even when they've been ranked that high, they're out. They lose to a 15 seed or something like that.
Yep.
So they, and I think they came in, even winning the Big 12 was a statement.
Mhm.
And beating Houston, it's tough. My gut says Iowa State gets through, but then, gosh, the thing is, I hate this straight chalk bracket season. It's like it just like I underestimated UConn. That's part of this. As I already said, I was like, I think they're going to lose. And I had Auburn playing them at this point and beating them. But you know what? I'll take San Diego State. I think they win this one.
Wow.
And then I think Iowa State represents this region.
Yeah. Fitz, I like everything you said right there.
Thing is, if UConn wins, they're gonna beat the shit out of Iowa State. That's where I'm like, I'm just going against chalk.
You're gonna be edgy.
Because now it's like, if I'm being honest, UConn's they're gonna handle this. But
Damn it.
I think
San
Diego State can give them trouble. So maybe I'll stick to that. I think San Diego State gives them trouble, and then it paves the way for Iowa State.
See, you stole my troll job, man. You ripped it out from under me, and I'm a little upset. I was gonna say I agree with everything you said, but Kawhi Leonard's not walking through that damn door anytime soon. UConn rolls them.
True.
I do like the over here. 136 is what it said at. I think we're gonna see a lot of points. I think San Diego State's gonna give them a run. UConn's 11-point favorite. I think they can make this interesting up until the last minute and a half where they start having to foul. I think this is a really close game. I like what you guys are saying. Iowa State, I think they're the most complete team coming from that side of it. Give me the Cyclones to roll through this thing. But UConn, man, good luck stopping them. They are a complete team. They've regenerated. What's the word I'm looking for? Rejuvenated. Thank you. I'm trying to work on my vocab. Rejuvenate. Too much CTE up here. UConn, man, the offense, it's up and running. I love it. I think UConn rolls to the Final Four here. All right, South region. Got the Cougs down in Houston taking on number 4 Duke, and then your boys are the Wolfpack 11 seed taking on Marquette.
Man, I'm gonna be quick on this one because apparently your boys at Barstool have dropped a T-shirt for DJ Burns, and I really feel like that's a jinx.
It is
the jinx tech.
They did Jake.
The Beastly Burns or some shit. It's a cool shirt.
It's a dope shirt. Yeah,
but I don't know. Feels like a jinx tactic. Regardless, I'm gonna go against the grain. Forget the numbers. I say it's an NCSU Duke matchup for the South region rematch, and State again gets it back in blood. I feel like Jared McCain has used up his Mario star power for all that shooting against JMU, and it's going to be tough against Houston, but somehow they found a way, and the Bucks going to stop at NC State again. So I believe in my boys. Go Pack.
You're howling on. Yeah. Those shirts are sick. He owns vending machines, and so they took that concept and ran with it.
And so South Carolina of him. That boy apparently he's a musician too. So
he plays 5 different instruments. Wild. Yeah. Also, not as big when he committed to Tennessee. He was really like athletic looking. He was like a young Zion looking. And then, Sorry, go ahead. That was just a random thought that came into my head. Go ahead, Fitz.
Yeah. By the way, I like that Pub Sports Talk. The logo, the basketball logo.
We might put that on a shirt next year.
Mug. Yeah, that's my favorite is in this region. I'm in on Houston. I feel like everyone picks 1 seed that is like that they're not going to take a chance on. I feel like that was Houston this year. Like everyone's believing in Purdue and UConn, UNC, but I feel like Houston. And maybe part of it is losing to Iowa State. Losing to Iowa State, they don't have it. Again, I think it's okay. I think it's okay to lose your conference championship or your conference tournament. I think it kind of sets you up. And with that being said, Houston, who's never won a natty, I think it's only fitting that they would have to play North Carolina State in the Elite Eight to get to that stage, to get to the Final Four, and then eventually a shot at championship. It could also bring back some PTSD from 1983.
Yep.
They could see NC State and just go, oh, man, and totally
Jimmy V's ghost raining
fumble.
down on him.
Yeah, just totally fumble the bag.
Yeah.
But no, I really like what Houston's doing. I think Shed he's the player of the tournament. He's just been really incredible to watch, and clearly going to be like on the NBA level is going to be one of the key guys down the stretch. So I'm really all in on Houston. And yeah, I'll pick NC State. I think NC State can handle Marquette. And again, it just sets up that shades of 1983, like 41 years later or whatever it is.
I like it. It's a good storyline. Obviously, trying to put my inner Duke bias aside, Houston's the one seed I'm not like. I actually like Houston. I feel like they can roll here. UNC is the one seed that I will never put money on, and maybe that's my Duke bias too. But they just didn't look good toward the end of the stretch. Even in a senior night Duke, they didn't look anything special. Just Duke played shitty. I think Duke plays shitty here too. Give me Houston. I think McCain used his all super gold star Mario power, like Devontae said. The Big East, man, they're out here for a mission. They're on a mission for Italians, because the NCAA is anti-Italian. So they're really trying to put on for the Marquette for Big East. I can't do it, boys. I'm going with you. NC State Cinderella. The run keeps going. And they keep going. They're going to the Final Four.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it, baby.
Over Houston?
Over Houston.
Oh, man.
I don't know why. Maybe I just like a good feel-good story. Maybe I'm just a hopeless romantic, you know?
That would be just devastating for Houston.
South region, UNC.
I don't
Bama.
think we'd see Jim Nance ever again. I think he would just disappear into the abyss.
You know what? Maybe that's what we deserve.
UNC, Bama. UNC is a 4.5-point favorite, and then 6 seed Clemson taking on number 2 Arizona. Arizona 7.5-point favorite. Clemson, maybe they're a little Cinderella story too. Darling of the ball. Putting on for the ACC. What do you guys say? Who comes out of here?
Clemson is in the same spot as Illinois is for me. Like, I don't know exactly how they made it up to this point, but
they shouldn't have.
Huh?
They shouldn't have.
No, but when I think about the regular season, well, no, they won more games than I guess I accounted for or something. But yeah, I still don't know. Like, they were at 6 seed. 6 is kind of crazy. But you know what? To each his own, because they've been showing their ass this tournament too. So you can only be so mad. I don't understand how they've been showing their ass, because I watched the games. I'm like, how is this happening, bro? Like, this is a club basketball team for real. And they can play. Jack Clark, they used to play for NC State. Now he can shoot. Okay. So, but anyway, past that, you got Bama. Bama, there was a ticker up saying that Bama was missing one of their forwards. I don't know anything about this Bama team for real. But I do know, just off of Bama culture, they're going to be kind of physical and probably bigger. So that might shake something up on defense. So hopefully Armando Bacot can hold strong, or not. I don't know. I hope not. Which is why I'm saying Bama over UNC and Clemson over Arizona, and Bama's going to the Final Four.
Wow. Man.
Yeah. What's the name? Damn, I forgot his name. Nick Saban is going to get it back in blood somehow, and this is how. Bama over Clemson to the Final Four.
I kind of like that. Can we juiced up?
Well, see, I picked a 2 seed in Iowa State. I picked a 1 seed in Houston. I feel like there has to be one sleeper pick. I don't think it comes out of this region. I think it comes in the next one. But this one's interesting because I thought at first glance, Arizona was the team in this region. They seem like they've been trying to get there, and they always kind of blow it. But I was feeling like, yeah, this team's really good though. Like the smell test, if there's a team that can compete with like a UConn type offense, I feel like Arizona would maybe be that. So I don't know. As I'm looking at it now, if it's UNC Arizona, that's going to be a great game. I mean, that could be one of those like legendary games that's just back and forth till the very end.
Yeah.
Almost like a UNC Kentucky matchup all those years ago when Luke May hit the game winner. And what sucks is I feel like Arizona could do it. I feel like they could do it to him. But I'm going to take UNC just based on the fact that I had Arizona originally losing to Dayton. I thought they would get spoiled earlier.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't see them getting all the way. I'm holding back a little bit on Arizona, where I do think UNC could make the run.
Yeah, I think Clemson's on borrowed time here. They weren't supposed to be New Mexico. They weren't supposed to be Baylor, and yet they're finding ways to do it. I think it stops here. I think Caleb Love is setting up a date with destiny to take down his old teamer. He was supposed to be the problem child. He was supposed to be the outcast, the reason UNC was so shitty last year. He's the reason why. I feel like he's got it Rocky Balboa style, UNC's roster, like team picture put up on his mirror. He's going to beat Clemson. He's going to look at the mirror, tear down the picture, throw in the trash because he's ready for UNC, because I think UNC beats Bama here. And then I'll take Arizona coming out of this to make the Final Four too. I think the 2 seed comes out. Last but not least, the Midwest region, number 1 Purdue taking on number 5 Gonzaga. Shout out to Gonzaga, 9 straight seasons making the Sweet 16. That is impressive as hell. 9 straight seasons. And then number 3 Creighton taking on number 2 Tennessee.
I'm gonna make this quick. Zaga and Creighton. Zaga somehow making the Final Four. Zaga's in the same boat as Clemson, as was with Illinois. I don't know how they made it this far, but at the same time too, I don't think. Well, I did follow Zaga's schedule, and they played the West Coast teams. They played like Pepperdine and San Francisco. So I don't know like exactly what they were made of, and somehow they won their pass game. And then it's Purdue. Like, Purdue is on borrowed time as well. Like, we know they're bound to blow up. We know Grambling State kind of gave them fits. Michigan, that won the conference game, Michigan State eventually gave them a fit, but like wasn't there to do it the first time. And like Purdue has just been cruising through regular season, as is Zach Edey. But I feel like what's his name? Is it Mark Few? Mark Few that
coach? Mark Few, the coach. Yeah,
Mark Few, aka fake Quinn Snyder. He's got something up his sleeve, and that something is Graham Ike, the big tall man. He's with the waves. He's got something for Zach Edey. We'll see what's going on. So we got Zaga versus Creighton. Creighton puts up a strong fight. Creighton has been rolling, but feel like them boys are tired. So Zaga to make it out to the Final Four.
Oh shit! Wow.
Man,
I
have never been to the Final either. Like I actually think this is how it's gonna play out.
Have they ever been to the Final Four? I don't. Yeah, Adam Morrison. I don't think they have.
No, they won. They finally won it.
With Jalen in that last shot.
Yeah,
that was a championship.
That was a great game. That was the UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
That was an overtime game. That was a crazy. No, they've been there. Mark Few finally got over that hump a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, I had in this bracket, I had Purdue losing to Kansas. I was going back and forth on Gonzaga or Kansas, and I was purely based on Bill Self or Mark Few. I was just like, I feel like someone's going to have a run out of these teams. Like Purdue's not going to do it, and it's either going to be Gonzaga or Kansas. And I ended up picking Kansas. And in hindsight, I think it was more because, again, it's just classic me being a contrarian. It's because everyone else was just hating on them. Oh, their best player's hurt. Oh, they're out or whatever. But Gonzaga kind of fits the mold that I think I was trying to put Kansas in. And even for Gonzaga, I even wonder if this year they feel more back to like their roots, because it felt like since like maybe 2017 they became like a premier like team. They became like they were the 1 seed, they were the 2 seed, and this year it's like a Gonzaga team with whatever, I think they had 7 losses, and all of a sudden that's like, oh, Gonzaga, they got 7 losses, they're not the same. But I feel like this is where Mark Few kind of made his name, is being that kind of program that doesn't necessarily play all the rest, but then they can compete with the big dogs. So I like Gonzaga. I like that pick. I originally had Creighton over Gonzaga, and I'm just debating. This is the best Creighton team I think we've seen. That's the only reason I put them in the Final Four.
Like across the board, like every position.
Yeah.
They even, they got Mike Miller's son. Like he's starting, but I think at this point, since he's so young, they just got him here to be like a swingman / role player. But
Yeah,
he hasn't messed up for real.
I'll take Creighton just to stick with my pick. Yeah, that's a really tough matchup though.
all right. So hold on, I'm gonna rewind. You guys both said Gonzaga's 1.
We both have Gonzaga Creighton.
Oh no, hold on. You
Yeah,
guys both saying Gonzaga won a natty? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, they never won
Did
a
they
natty.
not?
They've been to 2 natties.
You're right.
2017 lost to UNC. 2021
Yeah.
lost to Baylor.
Whoa,
But-
what with
You're right.
Baylor
They
first
lost
last
to
shot?
Baylor.
Yeah, they've
No,
been
that was
Elite
the
8.
Final Four. That was a Final Four game.
They've been Elite 8
You're
5
right.
times.
Damn, that's
So,
crazy.
You're right, because they were going for perfection with Drew Timme,
Yeah,
and
the old
they
ass.
lost that
That's right.
game.
Baylor. Yep.
So Mark Fuse never won.
never won it. He's getting the monkey off his back.
Damn.
He's not getting the monkey off his back this time. I think Zach, I'm Mr. Baked Edie, gets it done. I think he beats Zaga here, but he runs into a tough Creighton team. I think Creighton is almost well as rounded as UConn is. They're hot right now. Give me the Blue Jays. I think they find a way to get the Final Four here. All right. Top bets. Let's make them, boys. I have a compiled list here of just random ones that I've seen thrown out on the internet. I want to know what your all's top bet. Where are we going to put money on? As once again, Pub Parlay, we're making money. Sweet 16 bets, right? So you got NC State plus 6.5. DJ Burns the first score basket, plus 425 be the first score basket. Ryan Kalkenbrenner to make a 3, right? It's over under set at 0.5. I think that's at plus 450. Duke Houston over 134.5. Whatever you guys want, man, we can make it happen. That's the beautiful thing about DraftKings. I haven't looked at the FanDuels a lot, but you can do anything with it and you make money off it. So what do you guys think?
I'm looking at that Arizona over 79.5 because they've been on a big scoring run lately.
They have.
So I'm liking that one.
I'm with you.
I will say the one that I don't like is Ryan Kalkbrenner making a 3 off of Tennessee's defense because I think their big man can. That's the center, yeah. So their big man can like actually stretch the floor, and I think bro shouldn't be shooting when he has 3 other shooters around him. So I don't know,
dude. I'm with you. As I said, like some of this, like I put together myself. A lot of it I just got from my line, and I saw that, and I was like, all right, we'll throw it in there. But Tennessee's defense, man, it is tough physical defense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Any money line pick that you're like, yeah, they're definitely making to the Elite 8.
I mean, I'm just trying to play the odds here. Like, as much as we're hyping up Gonzaga, that's just a tough Zach Edey. Just do they have? I haven't looked. Do they have the bigs to? I feel like they can do it, but I don't know.
We all said NC State's making Elite 8. You want to take that one?
Yeah, I do think. Yeah, I think we should do that.
All right, NC State money line against Marquette. I like it, and then I'm gonna take first to 10. Iowa State. I think Iowa State's the first team to get to 10 points between them and Illinois. I feel like they get hot rolling. They get a nice start. They're going to score 10 points first.
See, I hate that bet. That's a you never know. You never know with that.
I feel great. When you hate my bets, I feel like they work. And so I love it. It's usually when we all agree, like, yeah, that's a great bet. That is fucking tanks. Right. All right. Good job, boys. I guess we could do pub parlay, but I think we've got 2 parlays put in here. It was built in the show. So let's do random question. Anybody got one for us? It's tough. I got you. March Madness, Sweet 16. When you think of the ideal March Madness face player, who comes to mind? Maybe they didn't win a natty. Maybe they did, like Doug Peterson last year, 2 years ago. His run, that stash. Marshall Henderson, the tongue, sticking on the scorer's table. He was leading Ole Miss to a run there.
Fuck that guy.
Who is your like ideal March Madness hero?
Right now, it's Jack Golke.
Golke.
That's my Caitlin Clark. I didn't mention that, but that guy just looked like Chandler from Friends. He was what I always thought I could do in like pickup.
That's so real. That is so real. That's real.
like where I can just come in and be the microwave, and just like come in and just like hit every single three and just run around. And maybe I'm not the most athletic guy on the court, but I can just get my shot off and just drop it in.
Yeah.
So I'd say presently he's like, for maybe a couple more days till we start this next round, he's my face for the last couple weeks. But no, I need like an all-time. That's a great question.
Something that really effed me up. I found out Oakland is in Michigan, so that really messed me up.
Yeah.
Like I feel because I actually had been following them just off the strength of their uniforms. I love the big bear on there. I like the black and stuff. And they were playing Long Beach State and other schools like that, but they play on the Horizon League, not like Mountain West or anything. So that really messed me up.
Mm-hmm.
But past that, my March Madness player is really random, but Shane Battier, because for some reason Shane Battier is the first college player that like I ever recognized. Because I used to hear that name all the time growing up. Because I didn't grow up watching basketball, more so playing it. But when it came to watching, I wasn't one of those kids like in love with the sport. Like I like playing it, I didn't like watching it. But I kept hearing Shane Battier, and I kept watching him play. And he made it to the league. One is the difference maker in the league. So, and I thought his name was weird. So Shane Battier is that for me.
I like it. I'm gonna give you one throwback, and this one was the first. I think I mentioned it last week. Like the first Cinderella run I really remember. George Mason, 2006. Ja Lewis, 6'7" forward. He was tatted, and he led the 11 seed to a Final Four. And I just remember him he put on God, he was dominant. He was a big, I was like, yo, this is like next Shaquille O'Neal. Obviously not, right? Never really panned out NBA, but I was like, yo, this guy's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then one in 2010 from Northern Iowa, Ali Forkamanesh. Forkamanesh, I think is how you say it.
Yeah, something like that.
Dude, he was electric. He was kind of the microwave of the 2010 tournament. And, you lead Northern Iowa to the Sweet 16. It's a pretty big deal. I think they beat Kansas in that one and maybe Michigan State too. They were on a little run there. So that's my two.
Yeah, I think, it's tough to pick one because I actually have I have an all-time, I guess my all-time, my podium would be if I had a 2 and a 3, I can't figure out where they are, but just as history's gone on and you see these players in the NBA, CJ McCollum and Steph Curry, their runs now have just this different weight to them,
100%.
But I think my number one, when you said the question, I thought Kemba Walker.
Ooh.
I actually did think of Kemba, which is just kind of funny. And yeah, they were like a 7 seed. They were a UConn 7 seed, I think. They were like a 7 or an 8 that just kind of ran the table. But that was one of the iconic players and teams and moments.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that would be my most
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you're
I like
just
that
gonna
list.
see that like in the years to come, they're gonna show all these different people. But I feel like Kimba, like when they show Kimba, it'll be like, oh yeah, it was like that team. That team was nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kimba and MSG, the 9 overtime game against Syracuse. Like it was just, it was special. It was special. Hey, well, that's gonna do it for episode 193. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Go make some money on some bets, whether you use us or not. Gamble responsibly, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Peace.
The most responsible gambling is safe gambling, and that's no gambling.
Chill out.
Oh, get out of here! The fun police
Oh
is
my
here.
gosh. We would be the bad boys of Little League. I'm telling you now. We would beat the tar out of the other team.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has to be.
Pub more. I mean,
Has to be.
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
First time on air. Anything to say to Lawan here to get him back?
Look, bro, there are stories I could tell people about Lawan, but we'll keep those right here. I'm gonna let them live.
So smart, and my team is so dumb. My coach he looks dumb. He's a big baby. This
Dude,
man,
those graphics.
Rip-
Fitz, fun police.